This may be a prison, but it's far from ordinary. In fact, it's the most luxurious prison the world has ever seen. From a glamorous nightclub where Pablo Escobar danced with Colombia's most beautiful women, to a horrifying torture chamber where his enemies would vanish into darkness. But why did Colombia go to such lengths to keep the inside a secret? What is hiding inside La Catedral? "10 a.m. Escobar lies in his bed, thinking about the day ahead. This is Escobar's cell, but it's far from what you might imagine. It's fitted with a king-size bed, topped with the finest Egyptian linen sheets. Surrounded by million-dollar paintings, fine oak wood furniture, and a wall-length bookshelf. Behind the bed, a handcrafted blue ceramic tile art piece of the Virgin Mary adorns the wall. His room doubles as one of his offices. Next to his bed is his workstation. Even behind bars, the cartel boss is running one of the largest drug empires the world has ever seen. To a man like Escobar, image is everything. Even in the prison, Escobar constantly fusses over his appearance and hygiene. He grooms himself extensively, brushes his teeth for 45 minutes. And because of his large belly, he measures his weight every morning. Each day of Pablo Escobar's life is a roller coaster, and today is no different. 11 a.m. As he makes his way to breakfast, Escobar passes a wanted poster of himself and high-rank cartel members pinned to the wall. It hangs there like a trophy, in a brown wooden frame. He's fully embraced his role as a villain, with a collection of every wanted poster ever issued against him shown off with pride. His kitchen and living room are brand new, fitted with pristine marble, shiny appliances, and elegant ornaments. But he won't be eating here. Escobar rarely eats alone. At La Catedral, he's always surrounded by his closest allies. Escobar is on his way to another part of the prison. As he walks, he passes the rooms of his top lieutenants and sicarios. Like his bosses, their rooms are lavishly furnished. At the center of one of the rooms stands a big circular bed. Where most rooms would have a crucifix, a massive black and white portrait of Escobar hangs, just to remind his goons that he's always watching. It's not hard to see why the Colombian government was so eager to keep the prison and its details hidden from the public. Back inside, the boss starts his day. Today, Escobar will be eating with his lieutenants inside of his giant casino. This room, nearly 500 square meters, is where the narco spends most of his time. As he sits down, Escobar has brought his usual breakfast. His private chef cooks a traditional Colombian plate of rice, eggs, roast beef, fried plantain, arepa, beet salad, and couples it with a glass of milk. It might be hard to imagine, but we're miles away from civilization, up a rugged jungle mountainside. And yet, here, Escobar has commissioned an industrial-grade setup, fit for even the finest restaurant. It's fully stocked with multiple fridges and cooking areas. Just a single one of these fridges could cost upwards of $5,000. The entire kitchen alone set the boss back nearly $75,000. Right now, the chefs and staff are prepared for a typical occurrence in the million-dollar prison. But tonight, something's different. Two guests are set to arrive at 5 p.m., whose presence will make international news. 1 p.m. Escobar finishes his meal. Even though he's behind bars for countless crimes, his transnational drug empire still runs like clockwork. Escobar stands up and heads to the office. It's probably a good moment to mention just how Pablo Escobar ended up behind bars. By the 1970s and 1980s, Medellin, Colombia, had become the epicenter of the worldwide cocaine trade. Drugs were flowing out, and an unimaginable amount of money was flowing in. But gangs, organizations, and drug lords were split. Escobar, being the sharp drug lord that he was, saw this as an opportunity. He used his charm and power to unite all of these different groups under his banner. With internal divisions settled, the Medellin cartel was able to rake in billions of dollars a year. But all of this came at a cost, a deadly cost. Back in his gilded cage, Escobar takes a pause before heading into the office. He has a telescope mounted right outside, pointed at his family's home down the mountain. Escobar bought this house near the prison to keep a close watch on his family and make visits more convenient. His wife, Maria, whom he married when he was 26 and she was 15, lived there with their 2 children, Sebastian and Manuela. The decision to place the prison was strategic, offering more than just an incredible view. He had spent endless hours as a child roaming these hills, meaning he knows the area like the back of his hand. The elevation adds an extra layer of security, allowing him to monitor anyone approaching the prison in case he needs to make a quick getaway. As Escobar takes a look through the telescope, his henchman hands him a telephone. His daughter is on the line. She's staring back up at him through her own binoculars, talking to her dad. "When can I go to the dollhouse?" she asks. A life-size dollhouse sits a few feet away from her dad's room. Just one of the little details that makes this prison so strange. A little girl's dollhouse, though far from ordinary, in the same prison where, just beyond its walls, Escobar is about to issue some very dark orders. Escobar walks into his office and sits down. In front of him, a white Italian marble desk. Behind him, a matching bookshelf. His whole office, including black leather couches and beautifully adorned drapes, looks like it belongs in a 5-star hotel. But today, Escobar has little time to appreciate his surroundings. On his mind is only one thing: betrayal. As we mentioned earlier, the rise of Escobar's cartel came at a steep cost. Escobar had ordered the assassinations of countless people, including very popular political and business leaders. He was also responsible for terrorist attacks, including the downing of a commercial aircraft, killing hundreds. His huge criminal empire made him a target for both governments and criminals. This made him paranoid beyond belief. Escobar saw enemies in every corner, even where none existed. At his desk, Escobar picks up the phone and calls Fernando Galeano. He's furious. He had ordered all of the capos of the cartel to begin sending him $500,000 per week. Disobeying a direct order from Pablo Escobar is not something many people get away with, at least not in one piece. Escobar and Galeano argue, and they both say a lot of things Galeano is going to regret. Finally, Escobar orders that he and his associates immediately come to the prison. He slams the phone down. 5 p.m. Outside the prison walls, a few cars make their way up the prison's entrance. Inside one of them are 2 of the world's most famous soccer players, René Higuita, the goalkeeper of the Colombian national team. Next to him, the legendary Diego Maradona, the pride of Argentina and soccer itself. They aren't just here for a friendly chat with Escobar. They're about to play a private match on one of the 2 state-of-the-art soccer pitches that sat behind the prison. The main soccer field, measuring almost the size of the prison itself, is allegedly one of the nicest in the city. The floodlights surrounding it are so bright that people in Medellin, dozens of miles away, could tell when Escobar was playing a match. Diego Maradona would later say, "We faced off playing as forwards for the respective teams, and the drug lord managed to score several goals." After the match, Escobar and his guests head to the heart of the compound, the Grand Casino Hall, where much of the Kingpin's leisure time is spent. Spanning 450 square meters, this massive room is more than just a gaming center. The casino hall is fully equipped to cater to every whim. 2 pool tables sit in one corner, along with a ping pong table and multiple casino-style gaming stations. At the center of it all is a small altar, dedicated to his beloved Archangel Saint Michael. It's said that Escobar prays to the saint for protection, believing the divine helps shield him from the law, despite the growing international efforts to tear his empire apart. But the room isn't all fun and games. It has an important practical side too. At the back, there's storage for his and his lieutenants' prized motorbikes. Ironically, one half of the hall is enclosed by prison bars. But in La Catedral, these bars aren't meant to lock anyone in. They're literally a mockery of Colombian and world authorities. "You got me," Escobar says. The bars serve as a reminder that even as a prisoner, nobody takes away his freedom. He moves in and out of his compound, living a life of opulence and pleasure, even under the guise of captivity. 7 p.m. The hall echoes with the sound of laughter, clinking glasses, and roaring conversations. The tables are pushed aside to turn the spacious hall into a lively dance floor. Music booms from the speakers, and the guests, a mix of sicarios, capos, soccer players, and Escobar's inner circle, mingle with the women as the festivities ramp up. The party is now in full swing. Escobar, famous for his love of a good time, indulges without restraint. Drinks flow freely, whiskey, rum, and champagne, and thick cigar smoke clouds the air. The narco kingpin moves through the crowd, at times taking center stage on the dance floor, at others sitting back and observing with his glass raised, a contented smile playing on his lips. But even amidst the luxury and excess, no one can ignore the tension in the air. Escobar is a man who lives on the edge, and everyone knew that his mood could shift in an instant. As the hours ticked by, the vibe of the evening slowly began to change. 10 p.m. Another set of cars appear at the compound's gates, their approach much quieter. As they pull in, one of Escobar's sicarios lets him know. The carefree mood of the evening drains from his face, replaced by something much darker. The music continues, the laughter still echoes through the hall, but Escobar's mind fills with unspeakable thoughts. The mask Pablo Escobar has worn for the past few hours is about to slip. He leaves the casino hall, accompanied by a small group of his most trusted men. The music and laughter fade behind them as they make their way toward a secluded part of the compound, the infamous torture chamber. Inside is Fernando Galeano. Earlier in the day, Escobar had summoned him, and now is the moment of reckoning. Galeano stood nervously. The room itself is a stark contrast to the luxury of the rest of the compound. Cold, bare walls surround them, and the dim lighting is like something out of a movie. This chamber is the last stop for anyone who crosses the drug kingpin. Escobar enters, his demeanor cold as ice. He wastes no time. With a steel gaze, he confronts Galeano about his refusal to pay the $500,000 weekly tribute. Galeano tries to plead his case. Little does he know, his fate was sealed the second he walked through the front door. Escobar's men overpower him. Nobody knows for sure what happens next, though horrifying rumors circulate. Only the outcome is certain. Galeano will not leave La Catedral alive. Escobar exits the room, and his guards carry out the execution. When it's done, the body is quickly disposed of. This isn't the first time Escobar has had to deal with betrayal in such a way. You don't make it to the top of a global drug empire by playing nice. He's made countless enemies along the way.
El país debe conocer la realidad de ciertos poderosos capitales, los delitos que sus titulares cometieron para lograr formar sus fantásticas fortunas.
And his paranoia has only grown over time. Galeano's fate is just one chapter in a long history of bloodshed and retribution. Escobar's paranoia isn't unfounded. He knows the enemies he's made outside are waiting. The political leaders he had assassinated, the rival cartels, the police forces across multiple countries. Every day he remains free, the target on his back grows larger. It was this very fear that drove him to turn himself in.
This morning are calling the surrender of trafficker Pablo Escobar a major victory in the war on drugs.
Locking himself away in La Catedral was in reality his safest option. Here, surrounded by his own men and fortress-like walls, he could continue his operations without constantly watching his back. As Escobar returns to the casino hall, the party hasn't missed a beat. The music is still blaring, the guests are dancing, and the atmosphere is as lively as ever. Escobar slips seamlessly back into the revelry, as if his hands aren't caked in blood. To the unknowing eye, it's just another night of excess. Yet, those closest to him know the truth. Betrayal is never tolerated, and the cost of defiance is always fatal. Nobody is safe in this line of work, and Escobar's time is coming too. 2 a.m. Escobar heads back to his room, unaware of the problems he set in motion. His enemies have united against him, leaving escape his only option. The government, furious over another murder, demands his transfer to a high-security prison. His own allies, now turned enemies, fear for their lives too.
Escobar, a ruthless killer, escaped from his own luxury prison when authorities tried to transfer him to another jail.
On July 22, 1992, La Catedral would once again work as intended. As the army approaches, Escobar sneaks through the poorly constructed fence and wall, slipping away into the night. He serves just 13 months of his 5-year sentence. A year and a half later, a special police unit tracks him down to a safe house. After a rooftop chase, a gunfight ensues. A bullet passes through his head, killing him on the spot. Pablo Escobar, perhaps the most dangerous man on the planet, dies. He's only 44 years old. The prison, on the other hand, lasts a few more years, but even it starts falling apart. Tales of hidden treasure cause some to venture up the mountainside, sneak in, and begin looting the compound, dismantling it piece by piece. By the late 90s, the entire structure had been torn away. It's as if the palace had never existed at all. Colombia portrayed Pablo Escobar's imprisonment as a sign of strict control, framing his arrest as a major victory in the country's war on drugs. To maintain this image, the media was tightly controlled, revealing little about the luxurious reality inside his prison to avoid scrutiny. The site where La Catedral once stood is now a monastery and nursing home for impoverished senior citizens. While it had once been where the drug lord had built a castle of sin and torture, it's now a place of respite and healing. Still, there's no washing away its dark history, and its inhabitants no doubt still remember the turbulent years of Pablo Escobar, El Patron.